Good morning.
Hello.
We're here.
Hello. We are. It's another Wednesday.
Yes, it is.
Imagine that. They keep coming weekly. Who would have thunk?
Every week there's a Wednesday. I can't believe it.
Definitely Woo Woo Wednesday. It's funny. Woo Woo Wednesday was brought up in like another chat, and there's been so much going on. I can't even really remember which chat it was, but Brooke was like, "Woo Woo." Like, yeah, I'm gonna have to make shirts or something for us, like the Woo Woo Wednesday crew or something. Hello, everybody. Hopefully, everybody's having a good start to their day.
Well, it should be
We actually get it.
beautiful. Did you hear how warm it's
I don't.
supposed to be today? They said it could hit
Oh yeah,
70.
I
Snow
know.
tomorrow, but 70 today, so this is great.
Hey, I'm a fan. I'm gonna love it. It's windy where Renee is. Um,
Renee, Ted showed me your old Valentines. Somewhere in one of the boxes, I've got 2 or 3 of them. I'm going to send them to you because I just let them sit in a drawer. You can add them to your wall. So she was on something and Ted saw she's got like a whole wall of old time Valentines. And it was really
oh,
cute. Yeah.
how fun. Um, Hello, we got Brooke on all the things. Hello, Brooke. Though Renee's asking if earthbound spirits are more active on any specific day of the week.
No, it has to do with the phase of the moon. And there is a new moon on Monday, the 20th. And so they're going to be more active starting only the day before and the day of. It's the full moon that they're active for the week before. But just a heads up, that new moon on Monday is at 2:06 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's going to
So
be a
be ready to.
little tricky to get to it right.
That's right. Set a quick alarm for 12:01. Scribble it out. Go back to bed.
That's about the way it's going to have to work right.
Oh, Herbs and Stuffs in Maria says it's windy there too.
Oh
So
yeah,
I think all of Ohio. Let's see.
they've got us down for
Oh,
tornadoes
Sandy.
tomorrow.
Hi,
What's
Sandy.
that?
Now we know what Sandy's Twitch name is. Herbs and Stuff. Hi, Sandy.
Oh, okay.
Um, I was wondering if somebody was going to ask this question. Are all the objects being shot down aliens?
You know, I don't know, and I would like to know how truthful they're going to be with us. I mean, I think the first one was from the Chinese, but now that they've lowered, what did they say? They lowered it so they're picking up more things on radar. They had it set too high and they couldn't pick up little stuff. So they changed it. Whoever changes it, they changed it. And now they're
Mhm.
picking up all this other stuff. So it's interesting. It might be a little bit of both. It could be. That one that we all saw, that one that Musk put up with the long, it was long and like a cigar shape. When I saw a picture of that, I thought, holy smokes. But then it was Elon Musk's little toy that he had up in the sky. So it
Right.
wasn't, but who knows?
Well, apparently, I did not realize Duran Duran had a song called "New Moon on Monday." But now I feel like if you do, now you have that in your head because everybody's like, "Oh, now that's in my head." But I will say yesterday morning, Scott and I, we were at the gym and, I do the treadmill at the gym. And so they have all of the TVs up, in front of you and different news channels, HGTV. And while I was listening to a true crime podcast, I was kind of reading the captions of the news, and they were covering like the four things that have been shot down. And like the ticker tape down at the bottom was like White House, aliens not believed to be involved. I'm like, the fact that we're saying that now. I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's
That's
fun.
good. I mean, after the first one, people were going to start, and conspiracy theories, they're running amok, I'm sure, with, everything that it could be. So,
Hello, hello. Yeah, I really think most of what they're shooting down is just human stuff, sneaky human stuff, if anything. Um, oh, I think we're actually going to be warmer than California today.
yes,
Hello.
yes, we are.
Um, let's see. Natalie says a few nights ago, I think I was, like in a twilight sleep, not fully asleep, but felt two nudges on my left shoulder. Wonder if I was dreaming or could it have been an earthbound?
Well, it could be an earthbound, or it could be somebody that crossed over that is trying to get your attention. I mean, if it was just a little nudge and they did, smack you up the side of the head, I'm sure it's probably, and think about it. Was that an important date? Your birthday and anniversary, the day somebody died, it was their birthday. Sometimes on a significant date, they try to get people's attention to sort of remember them. So without a phone call from the house, Natalie, I really don't know.
Mm. Uh, let's see. Hello, Nancy. Oh, and look who is back. It's like we summoned him. Hello, Lewis.
Oh my gosh. So he still
I
exists.
know. Lewis, did you listen to the podcast that you inspired about whether or not Marianne has ran into a ghost more than once out of a portal even? That was based on your question, hun. And let us know how's it going with school. We've all wondered how your projects went, how's school going.
I think he should be
Wonderful.
almost done by now, no?
Yeah, I feel like we're in school with him because we're like, oh my God, are you done yet? Because this has been,
Yeah, it's
how are
like
your projects?
forever.
We're invested.
Right, right.
Or Vicky says, hey, maybe shoulder nudges could be the nose of a big earthbound dog.
Yeah, and you are right, Vicky. It certainly could.
Let's see. Um, Karen says, I got rid of my husband's truck yesterday. The day I cleaned it out, the hazard lights came on. I think he was telling me to get rid of it. And after seeing it up on the tow truck, I think he helped me decide. He passed in July last year. I'm so sorry. The son has smelled cigarette smoke in the house.
Yeah, I bet you're right. And if it's something that he wanted to be gone, you did it, so that's good. The next time you have a
Oh, Lewis,
dream of him, ask him. Oh,
I'm
he's just
starting university.
starting university in September? Where's he been going to school at all this time then?
Hmm. Maybe Lewis is a little younger than we thought. Maybe. Um, and everybody's wishing him good luck here.
Yeah.
Um, and it's funny because Sandy earlier, where's her comment? Said like she honestly doesn't believe in aliens, and maybe it's a good thing we didn't bring one back to make her a believer. um, and for the longest time, I was kind of on the fence about it because like I never had anything and would sit in these classes and workshops with people that can like channel and do this light language and all this other stuff. And they're like, let's go outside and summon one. And they're like, I see it. I'm like, is this mass hysteria? If that's like the power of the suggestion, I'm like, I see nothing.
And I'm
you know,
sorry, I don't really believe you can summon an alien.
right,
I
right.
just like I don't think you can summon we folk. They're there or they are not. So no, nobody will ever tell me that.
Mm. Well, I mean, and just like mediums, good mediums who are not charlatans will sit there and say, like, I understand that you're hoping to talk to mom, dad, grandpa, Uncle Joe, but I cannot demand that they show up and here they come,
That's right.
So we'll work with the message that we have, we'll do this for a little. If this is not something that you want, here's your money back. We're done.
Right.
We're not, none of my people are going to pretend just for the sake, and I keep an eye on that, none of my people have ever been like that, but I always, just in case, nor are we going to, sometimes you have like the reading addicts, like they want to come every week and they're willing to pay, but I'm just like, honey, you need some downtime. Like I can in good conscience, and these readers will not. And sometimes the readers will come up, especially if it's been really busy and there's a lot of names coming through for the amount of readers we have, and they'll be like, look, so and so's been coming, every week for like 6 months. Like we need to kind of, and I'm like, okay, good point. We'll kind of slow that down,
And the
you
other
know.
thing that I notice is that they'll go from one reader to another. Are they trying to figure out who's telling them the truth or not? It's I know I know some readers that are totally, totally up and up. And there's one particular to begin with, she won't even, I mean, when somebody dies, they automatically want to go to a reader and talk to whoever died. She will not
Mhm.
even let you come to see her unless they've been dead for at least 6 months. And after
Mhm.
that, she will not let you come for another 6 months. She will not do anybody without a 6 month break. I don't understand, you know, and I've said this before, a lot of people can get their own answers in their sleep at night. If you think about what your problem is before you fall asleep at night, a lot of times you get your answer in the morning. So I think people need to
Mhm.
try that a little bit.
Yeah. So Lewis says, I really enjoyed studying fashion, but I've decided to study electrical engineering at the university. Big change, I know, but it's what I want to do.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I mean,
that is
talk
a big
about going
change.
from right to left. Geez, oh man.
I mean, go for it. If you're happy with it and you're excited, absolutely go for it. But he says, I really want to know your opinions on the Akashic Records. And Lewis, I wish you were part of that virtual book club when we were doing it, because I'm trying to remember which book it was where it was comparing like the tapestry of life to the Akashic Records. And I know Julie is in chat and she's an Akashic Record person. Um, so, um, I believe all those things are kind of a possibility, whether or not, which one's better than anything. You know, all many paths to the same destination, maybe. Um, Marianne, what's your stance on the records there?
I'm I'm sure that there is something like that that exists. I mean, everything's imprinted. You can go back, and find things from 400 years ago. But I don't know. I think that it's the new next thing for people to get interested in. It's always something.
Hmm.
So I don't
Yeah.
put much stock in it. I don't think
I,
a
I,
normal person that meditates has the ability to go and see the records. I don't think anybody that just wants to see them can see them. Then they wouldn't be special, would they? So no, 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 no.
so going back real quick to the people with the multiple readings, Christine says, I think people are so desperate to hear what they want to hear that they will bounce from person to person. And you're right, they
Yeah,
will.
that's right.
Um, you know, we have clients that will come in and that they will go from reader to reader, and it's almost like a low grade stalking, right? Because they're fixated on this person, be it that this other person is either married or just not interested, or just, and when that reader's like, this is going to go nowhere, you need to let this go, focus on yourself, somebody else will come in, well, now I don't like that reader, I'm going over here. And
Right,
and it's not good policy to sit there and talk about, your clients and readings, but when it gets to somebody like that, that's where you kind of go, okay, she's been here, 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 and here. And the minute I'll see that name, I'm kind of like, okay, here's a heads up. She's going to kick back. So if you get to a point where you feel like it's not worth the time, be like, okay, we're going to refund you your money and like go out. Cause I'm like, this is what she's hoping for. And, she won't take no for an answer, you know.
You can see it at psychic fairs. When there's 15 or 20 readers, they stand there going, oh, I want this one, and I want that one, and I want that one. That is, somebody's going to contradict what you heard from somebody the first time, and then somebody's going to tell you something that's totally off the wall the third time. Who are you going to believe?
Well, and that's funny because people will come in and they're like, I had 3 readings and they all said the same thing, just slightly different wording. And, so I'm like, well,
Oh,
yeah, you saw
gee.
the psychic reading, then you had the tarot reader, then you had the rune reader. And I'm like, so are you ready to finally accept that?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and they're all
Exactly.
sitting spaced apart. So it's not like they were eavesdropping and they were so busy with their own, they didn't care. Nobody was keeping track. So I'm like, are you ready, to accept this now? So like Nanette, one of my readers, she's like, yep, they'll jump around till they hear what they want.
See,
So uh,
it's a waste of money, and it's a waste of the reader's time. Let them
mhm,
give information to somebody that they can really help. Don't just keep looking for an answer that you want. Or if it's what you want,
right.
make it happen yourself. A reader can't do it for you.
Yeah. Most people, like, they're familiar with that saying, the Lord will help those who help themselves. The universe will help those that help themselves. If you're wanting a great paying job and sitting at home wishing for it, it's not going to get it. Have you updated your resume? Have you submitted that resume? Have you answered your phone when the phone's ringing to set up the, interview? Like, you can do all the hoping and the wishing and the visualizing you want. Action has to, be a part of it. Um, let's see. Everybody's still wishing, Lewis good luck. You know what, Lewis, if you were ever interested in studying abroad, the University of Akron, because when Bryn was doing engineering for JVS, like we were finding, and they have like a triple degree that certifies you in electrical, structural, and another one, but it's a whole degree program that college came up with. And when you graduate, you are certified in all 3. Um, and I'm like, here, because for a little while he was interested in civil engineering. And I'm like, well, you got structural, you got electrical. I think it was chemical, actually, was in the third one. And I'm like, you can
Wow.
take that and go do your thing. And he's like, nah, it's boring now. And I'm like, okay, ADD boy. He might circle around someday to it. Who knows?
He's young.
Um,
He's got time.
oh, good point, Sandy. She's like, life has no remote. You have to get up and change it. I
That's
agree.
about right.
Um, let's see. And then Rebecca's like, and if Lewis goes to Akron, he can take a fashion class at Kent. Not that we're trying to bring Lewis to this side of the pond, but just saying, just saying.
And remember all the
Uh,
stuff he showed us that he was working on? I hope he's at least wearing that stuff now.
yeah, I mean, some of that was really cool. And I say some of that because I feel like I may have missed some of it just doing all the things. Um, duh, 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 duh. Yeah, you're right, Karen. Um, she's like, a lot of times people will only go to the readers that are a bit right, then to avoid the readers that'll tell them something different. It has to fit what they believe.
Yeah, she's right.
So, let's see. Um, hello, hello. If we have any of our new friends joining us, feel free to ask questions about earthbounds, negative energy, portals, ghosts, even aliens to a degree. Marianne, like, you don't know all things on aliens, and it's not like you're channeling anything, but you have had experiences with them and know how to work to some degree with some of them. You had a little one for a while that you believe was at
Yeah,
least
I
half.
had, yeah, that was, I know she was either half or a walk in, an alien walk in. She was one or the other. I don't know which, but there was no doubt she was not all human. And interesting child to raise, let me tell you. or to keep. She was not one of my girls, but she was a foster child and unique child, very unique.
Lewis asked, what do we also think of sound and vibration and how that affects the universe and energy?
I think that's like other dimensions. I think it affects us without realizing that it affects us. Uh, we don't know when somebody pops in and out of a dimension. And I think the same thing happens with the light vibrations, sound vibrations, any of that. It affects us. I mean, look at lightning. That affects us. So
Mhm.
anything can do that.
Well, and they're finding that certain frequencies can be like healing for the body. Light waves are, some are very healing for doing certain things. I myself had to go through some blue light therapy during one of the cancer treatments. So they're finding all new science is starting to back some of the woo woo stuff,
That's
that we
right.
were all just crazy for. So, but
Well, look at
just
now. Hospitals have people that are Reiki practitioners working on patients in hospitals now. Who would have thought of that even 10 years ago, let alone,
yeah, yeah.
amazing,
Cleveland
amazing.
Clinic. Yeah, Cleveland Clinic has Reiki floors now. The VA is starting to,
Kuwait
even the
does
VA,
too.
it is
Yep,
hua enough now that they're willing to
that's
accept
right.
it. And I just noticed recently in scheduling an appointment for myself that in the online intake, there was a whole area in question where you could put in whether or not you had biofeedback done.
Oh,
And I'm
gee.
like, seriously, you guys are starting? And she's like, yeah. She's like, certain campuses now have the ability to do that. So I'm like, that's really cool.
But don't you
So
think it's
again,
interesting that we knew how to do that before they think they invented it?
right. Right. Look what we did. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
huh.
uh-huh. Yeah, we did that 15 years ago. Thank you very much.
Right. Right. Um, yeah, and a lot very, very true. Vicky talking about Tibetan singing bowls, they're soothing to listen to. I'm one
Yes.
of the weirdos that singing bowls have to be a certain diameter, so they're a lower resonance for me
Yeah,
that I
otherwise
can
makes my
tolerate.
teeth hurt
See
when
those
it's real
high
high
pitched
and
ones?
squeaky. No, 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 no. I don't like those
Yeah,
either.
those high pitched ones, you just stick an ice pick in my ear. And I'm like, oh my God. So
Yeah.
we do carry them and tuning forks and the crystal singing bowls in the store. And, you let people play them to see if they like it. And the whole time I'm like, oh my God, stop it.
Yeah, right.
But you enjoy, you enjoy. I'm going to go over here. Actually, I'm going to go
So I don't have to
outside because
hear.
I can still hear
Yeah.
that. But to each their own. I'm also somebody like in drumming circles. I'm not a fan of drumming circles unless it's just a couple people and it's a low resonance. But I like picked he loves them. My son loves them. Him and his grandma would go to the ones out there in Oberlin, and I go to pick him up. And in the parking lot, I can hear that they're in one of those free for alls and everybody's doing what they want. I'm like, I'm angry. I'm like, get your drum and let's get out of this building. He's like, what? I'm like, nothing. You did nothing. You're wonderful. You're great. Let's go. Just get your car. Like, I need get out of here. I'm
You
the
know,
weirdo. I don't like this.
I've witnessed a couple of these things, and I have to tell you, people, I don't know where they go when they listen to the drumming. It's like they go someplace. I don't know exactly. It's almost like the drumming hypnotizes them. And
And it,
yeah, and
yeah.
it's I wouldn't I personally would not like to give up my own space or my own feelings to drumming because I'd really want to know what I'm saying before I just start talking.
Right.
I mean, I did a
Right.
lady's house who had just come back from drumming, and she had been out in well, let's just say Arizona for drumming. And when she
Mhm.
came back, she says, I have to see you. She says, I think I brought a ghost home with me. I said, okay. So I go to her house and I says, no, there's no ghost. She said, well, and try to keep a straight face. She says, well, when I was drumming, when I was in the circle drumming, she says, I got up and I started dancing, she said, and I became a dodo bird. And yeah, it's like, oh, okay. I don't even know what to say to that. Yeah, it's like I said, I don't think I've ever seen a dodo ghost. So I says, I don't think I can help you.
Yeah, so my first thought was like and then I'm like, "Okay, the whole shape-shifting aspect," and everybody
Yeah,
thinks, like, you physically change, and it's not.
you don't.
It's more of, like, embodying that spirit, but I'm like,
That's
"Why
right.
why the dodo bird?"
But a
Of
dodo
all
bird of all things. And we've been watching this Planet business that they put on TV where they do, the different continents and everything. Just the last one, they had a picture of a dodo bird, and that flashed me back to 35 years ago when this gal said that she had turned into a dodo bird. And I'm looking at this dodo bird thinking, geez, why didn't you pick a peacock or something? Why would you pick a dodo bird?
right. Um, oh, okay. Margie says, "My neighbor Lydia stated she left you a message on your new number and it is waiting for your call."
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Um Bridget says, I have a question. I'm wearing my Quincy all the time, but have had ongoing ear, nose, and throat issues, and with our kids too. Is there anything else that can affect negatively?
Yeah. I mean, if I've talked to you, was the house clear from any other thing other than ghosts? Was it clear from we folk? Was it clear from any negative energy on the house? Uh, so that would have to be checked out to see if, and the other thing too, if you're the one wearing the Quincy charm, that's not going to protect your kids that are upstairs playing in their bedroom. So keep that in mind too.
Mhm. Um, let's see. So there's been a couple people asking, what were the signs with the foster child that she wasn't quite human? No, no, I hope that's not a bunch of parents going, "That's what's wrong with my kid. It's an
Yeah.
alien."
Oh, no, 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 no. They would never in a million years get this confused. Um, she was alien and it was water because she was at the time we had an in-ground pool and she was born in March. Yeah, her birthday will be in about a month. And uh so the water was already, we had the pool heated. And she was
Mm,
only 4 or 5 months old when we started taking her in the pool, of course, and I took our girls to swim lessons at the Y when they were babies, and they could learn how to swim and save themselves if they fell in a pond or something. This child, I couldn't keep her out of the water. She would go to the bottom of the pool and and the pool was a diving pool, it was 10 foot deep. She'd go to the deep end and Ted or I would have to jump in and pull her out. And she was fine. She would crawl or toddle over to the pool and put herself in on purpose. The child was amazing with water. Absolutely. A fly would buzz by. That child could pick it up out of the air with her fingers. She could just catch a fly. It was like we'd go someplace, let's say to a hotel for a reason or something, if there was a pool there, the minute we walk in, one of us are holding her and she'd go, start sniffing around. She knew exactly where the water was from the chlorine smell. A kid that's a year old does not know this stuff.
mm,
She, I don't know how she could do it. Kids, I would put like Sesame Street on and put her in a little pumpkin seat to watch Sesame Street or her little, bouncy seat or something. Never, never, never did she ever think that was funny or good. She would sit there for an hour and watch the 6 o'clock news. She was fascinated by the talking heads on the 6 o'clock news. She could sit there for the whole hour and never move. Was she learning about Americans or humans? You start thinking about it. I, she didn't
She
need
was
to
the
watch
first
Sesame
resident
Street.
alien. She
Right.
was the first resident alien. Is her, sub, lingo now walking around saying like this is some bullshit, like he does on the
She
show.
doesn't know. She got adopted when she was, we had her till she was a little, like 2.5 years old. And then she got
Oh,
adopted. And after, it was funny, after 2 weeks, her bedroom in this house, in her permanent house, was upstairs. It was a beautiful old house. And the gal that adopted her called me up and she goes, Marianne, I have to ask you something. And I said, uh-oh. And it's like, because you're not going to tell the adoptive parents you have an alien child. And so
right.
I said, yeah, what's that? She goes, if I'm in the same room when she said her name is walking down the steps. She said, I can hear her shoes on because they were wooden steps. I can hear her feet. She says, but if I'm in another room, I never hear her walk down the steps. She says, and the other day I peeked around the corner, she says, and I swear she was gliding down the steps. Her feet never touched the steps. I says, that had to be an optical illusion. I says, how could the child do that? It's like, oh my God, you're kidding me. She got up when she finally learned how to crawl on the piano bench, which I pay to have that tune. My girls were taking lessons. I'm not going to let a 15, 16-month-old bang on piano keys. But
Hmm.
she would sit there and watch Tara practice. And she would just sit there and watch her. And the one day Tara got up to go to the bathroom and the baby got crawled up on the seat of the piano. And I'm in the kitchen, I'm fixing supper. And I heard Tara. I said, gee, that's a cute little ditty. I says, where did you get that one from? That was the baby playing. That was not Tara. I don't need any more proof than that. I mean, besides seeing the saucer that she came from or that was watching over her. I mean, we saw those all the time, but yeah, I know they exist.
I mean, you know,
Now, this kid is 30. She's born in 88. So however old she is. And as far as I know, she still doesn't know what she really is.
and you're not in contact with her to this day, right?
No, I am not. I kept in touch with them until, maybe she was 10 or 11. Talked to her mother once or twice after that because there was a problem. And, but since then, I have not talked to her. No, And because, with this kind of a venue, I don't know who's listening from what state, from what county, from where. And, I have never made it a secret where we're from or where we've lived. So
Mhm.
I would hate to think that she's watching something like this right now, thinking, gee,
Well,
I wonder if it's me. It's like, oh my God. So I'm really,
right,
I get nervous talking about this kind of stuff because I don't like to.
right, and you want to respect their privacy, so.
Exactly, exactly.
Um, Christine asks, I heard someone say last week, if you walk into a room and you totally lose your train of thought and forget what you were doing, you walk through an earthbound spirit. Do you see any truth to that?
No, you cannot walk through a spirit. They will move. If they're sitting on a chair and you want to sit on that chair, you're not going to sit on them. They are going to move. They can be close to you and you can feel energy from a spirit when it's real close to you temperature change or, something like that. But, let's face it, how many times in the last 30 years, and it's getting worse the older I'm getting, have you walked into a room and you wonder, why am I here? So you
Mhm.
can't blame a ghost for everything.
Right. Um, there's like meaning your foster child. She's like, I wonder if she has kids of her own now and if they can do the same things. And I mean, it would be interesting.
The last time like I said, I knew that she had graduated from high school. Um, she had a she had a hobby that was very well known for what she did, and then she had a really bad accident, and she was recouping for a couple of years. So I don't know if she ever got married or not. She's a beautiful little girl, but I don't know if she ever got married or not.
um, Melody asks, how can we stop psychic attack dreams that come from beings that are not earthbounds? I do keep my rosary and your quince seeds under my pillow.
Psychic attack dreams. Psychic attack dreams. You know what? I'm going to have to tell you, I really don't know what that even means. Psychic attack dreams? Do you have a clue what that means, Melissa?
Um, this is something where it's like would need a little more info, like what do you feel is happening? Where do you think it's coming from? Because ideally, right, during the day you're not feeling that way. So what's difference in your day to nighttime? Obviously, when you're asleep, you're more susceptible, right? Your mind's open, you're doing your things. But a lot of the times, for as much as I enjoy woo woo and get into it, I'm into science, and I really believe a lot of dream work is your subconscious telling you things. So,
And if you
what
have a quince seed on you, that protects you from anybody putting any negative energy on you, also. And I would say if you think you're being psychically attacked in dreams, then start wearing your quince seed to bed so that that doesn't happen. But I don't understand how whoever would do the attacking, how they could get in your dreams. I
because
that
then if it's like another living person, like what is the drama between you and them?
Yeah.
And and not really directed at Melody at this point, just in general. What makes you so important in this other person's life that they're going to lose their own sleep to come get you when they should be sleeping?
See, that just yeah.
I value my sleep. Anybody that ticks me off, like the last thing I'm going to do is lose my sleep over you. Especially as
No.
we get older and hormones are changing, and come on, my
Yeah,
sleep is more important than somebody else. Um, so it's
and
really
sometimes you have to bury the axe with somebody too, and just get stuff on an even keel. I'm sorry, let's agree to disagree, and we just don't have to be friends anymore. You live your life, I'll live my life. Are you worried that somebody's trying to get even with you for something? Are you not you again, Millie, just in general. Are you guilty about something? Did you do something that you're guilty about that your own dreams are telling you knock it off? Dreaming is very unique. I mean, a lot of stuff can happen when you're dreaming.
well, and the brain is very complex, and it's an amazing what it can and can't do. And unfortunately, our subconscious is not likes to play charades with like the waking world. So instead of just blatantly like, hey, here's the problem that you haven't addressed yet, here's some abstract imagery, here's some feelings during the day that you might have that you're going, where did that come from and why? um so and
And it
honestly,
was
because
and was it the
when I
pizza
look
you
at
ate 10 minutes before you went to bed? You know, that could do it too. You never know.
right, so not trying to put down Melody anything, but to really take a deep dive into what's going on, how often, who you or what you think this is attributed to, and then start working backwards and go, oh, it's really this, and I haven't fully dealt with it, or I feel guilty about that, or I'm still upset because they never apologized, or this just happened and it was unfair, and I'll never get justice for this because whatever the situation is, and I just need to let it go. Um, that's you like 99% of the time is usually what it is. It's very rare for anything else to come. Um, let's see. Da-da-da-da-da. Oh, well, thank you, City. Said, morning, ladies. Finally got to listen to the podcast and just love the WTF letters and all the laughs y'all had. So
We did.
hopefully at some point we'll be able to do another one of those. And we'll bring Brooke on again for her fun little English accent.
Oh, absolutely. Couldn't do it from now on without her. So,
Well, just this past weekend, we did the tea party, right? Miriam, we were talking about the Emerald Necklace Tea House. Because we host a tea party Valentine's and Mother's Day. And one of the readers is like, "Oh, I can't wait to drink my tea with my pinky up." And I just thought of, Brooke and the whole syphilis. And, I'm like, not because we have syphilis, but because we're being
yeah,
fancy.
right.
Um, so we'll have to do that again, and maybe see what we can do with the tea house, because it's very fun and quaint, and it's cute. It's got that old kitschy, cute little teapots everywhere, and it's adorable.
Like I said, I
Uh,
was there years ago when it was previously owned by somebody else and cleared it. And it was, and back then it had to be in October because of Halloween. But I did it for one of the TV stations at the time. So it's a very cute place. It really is.
let's see. Vicky said, enjoyed the podcast regarding the cabin. Hubby and I love gathering oyster mushrooms and morels with friends when living in Montana. She's like, I think it's the false morels that are poisonous. So,
I don't know. I just know that they can mingle in real easy with the good ones.
um, let's see. She says she thinks it's more of like creatures that cause sleep paralysis. And see, I'm kind of on the fence on some of those. There was a good chapter about those in that I can kind of see the cover of the book. He was he was the local author. He was one of the first ones we did. He came and spoke at the book club.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
That's the
And I
name of
don't
that
remember
book.
his
But
name either.
he had a chapter in there, and he had spoken with some actual sleep doctors on some of it, and was talking like, that's not really here because the brain's doing this, and others. So he was kind of given some info on both sides of the fence of like woo woo and medical and what the brain does. So if you didn't get to read that one, and I say that one because I cannot remember, his name is Mike Ricksecker.
There
What
you
is the
go.
title of his book?
That's okay.
Um, yeah, it's gonna bug me now.
And
Um,
it's going to be interesting because referring back to the Reiki, 15, 20 years ago, that would have never been done in a hospital. What are they going to say about sleep paralysis in the next 15 years? What are they going to come up with? Are they going to come up with
right.
the world changes so fast that what was right today is wrong tomorrow, and what was wrong yesterday is perfectly normal today. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's crazy.
Okay, so we're gonna do this. All of our friends on Facebook, go report this person. I've already deleted all her other comments, but we're gonna delete this one out. Go report her. She's one of the fake readers that scam you out of money online. Go report her.
Okay.
So make a note of that profile and that name. Go report her. She's a fake and she's a scam. And we're going to delete her comment from the feed. Go get her, guys. Um, Lewis would like to know if a Earthbound ever told you about aliens coming and abducting people. That's the word, abducting people out of the house. Can the
No,
Earthbound see the aliens?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, they can see one that's a human, either a walk-in or alien mix, but because they're still alive, but I don't know if they can. I've never seen a dead alien. Now, does that mean I can't? Or does that mean they've never been around me? I don't know. I've never seen a
You
dead
know,
wee folk do. I'm
well, and
sure
it's funny
they
because
must die.
I am almost done editing next week's podcast, right? I'm doing another listen through just to make sure we don't have any flub ups. And while listening, and I was just kind of like, thinking of like Bigfoot's, fairies, aliens, all these other, other type of beings. And I'm like, Marianne says she's never seen them. Is it because maybe you can't see whatever frequency they run at when they die? Or is it because they always go home? Their spirit goes home, or, and I'm like, this is interesting. Like,
I don't know. Yeah, I have no clue. And that is one reason why I would just like to stay in my area of earthbound spirits instead of dipping my toes in everywhere else.
everywhere. Thank you, Brooke. It was called A Walk in the Shadows, Mike
Yeah,
Ricksecker's
that's it.
book, and that's the chapter about the sleep paralysis and stuff. So I think I still have a couple in store. If you can't find it online, we can ship it for you if you get on the website. Um, what time are we at? Oh, okay, we still have time. It felt like we were already way over 11, but we're not. So did anybody get to listen to today's episode when it went out? That one was a fun one. I almost feel like that one needs its own little soundtrack now because just
Well, you can
picturing the
find
main
that music anywhere. So,
Melody says she listened to it and it was funny. So, and part of me, like, I keep picturing some of the Looney Tunes where there was a couple episodes where they had those type of characters and just the big leg swinging, and the dancing. And that's what I was kind of like picturing with her.
I tell you, that was I mean, for those that listen, that was the first time I had ever seen a ghost do anything like that. And I haven't seen a ghost do anything like that since. So, listen
Well,
to
no,
it
I'm
and you'll see
like,
what I mean, right?
let's go walk around places where they do like the ballroom dancing competitions, and are there still ballroom dancing happening, after hours?
There was when I was in high school. Oh God, I don't even know why I'm thinking about that. But when I was in high school, there was a place called the Columbia Ballroom. I don't know for sure. I don't know. From where we lived, it seemed like it took forever to get there. And even though it was called that, it was not a regular high school dance, so to speak. It was a little bit more formal. And yeah, there were definitely ghosts there. And I've seen them. Uh, and this is interesting. I have actually seen them for the first time maybe 2 years ago when I was watching Dancing with the Stars. I saw them on there. Who was that?
Oh,
Who,
Duke
who is?
and Sandy say they're still, that Columbia Ballroom is still open.
Oh, okay. Oh, it
So
is. Do they still have dances and stuff there? Wow. Anyway, another place where they had a ballroom that we used to go to when we were kids, our parents would take us to Euclid Beach, and they had a ballroom at Euclid Beach, and we would sit out on the bleachers and watch the adults in there dancing. There were ghosts in there too. But who's the chef from the South that got in trouble because of all the butter she uses? She was one of the
oh,
contestants.
Paula Deen. Pretty sure it was
Yes,
Paula Deen.
yes, it was her. Okay, it was the year that she was one of the contestants on Dancing with the Stars. I saw two different ghosts on that, only one time though. So
Oh,
yeah, which that's and I, and that's why I say when people say, "Well, can you see them on TV?" I basically say no because that's the only time I ever saw them. But look at the energy in that place
yeah,
with all the
there's
music
a
and the
lot.
dancing, yeah, and the audience and everything. So that actually made sense. It was quick. And they were both men, but I couldn't even tell you what they look like now.
Um, Linda says, have thoroughly enjoyed every single podcast. Thank you so much for them. Have yet to listen to the most recent.
Linda, I
So,
got your package. Thank you so very, very much. I'm going to really enjoy that. And your post office gave you the wrong information. It our post office definitely is 44094, not 96. So they were wrong. And Ted said he can take a picture of the top of the post office and send it to you if you want to see what it says. She sent me something and she left me a message. She says, Marianne, your post office is wrong. It's not 94, it's 96. I'm thinking, holy smokes, after I had all new business cards made. But no, it is definitely 94, Linda, but thank you.
let's see. Roberta asks, if a homeless young person has an earthbound attached to him, can he come to someplace near you so you can send it to the light?
Yes. If there's really a person attached to them, absolutely.
And Lewis asks, when you were in school, did you ever use spirits to cheat on an exam?
No, I was scared to death of the nuns. Absolutely not. Remember, I'm old. I had nuns in full gear. No.
And speaking of dances, Poodle Pants says, I know where there's a pole dancing competition coming up soon.
Yeah, I bet you do. And I bet there's going to be, it would be interesting to see the ghosts that would be watching that.
Probably not the most savory kind, but okay.
I would think not.
Let's see. And some of our friends who are out of Ohio that have heard the news are wondering if you're anywhere near the train derailment that happened.
Well, Ohio isn't that big. It's not like driving from one end of California to the other or Texas. And it's close enough. And I've done houses in that community. But no, and that's terrible. I would not stay living there after this. I don't think they would ever give anybody enough satisfaction to keep your house there and drink the water and send your kids to school there. I no. I think that's horrible.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. He's like, oh, exotic dancer ghosts would be watching the pole dancing.
Well, no. I did a house, a local house, a number of years ago, and her husband brought back a dead stripper from one of the gentlemen's clubs. And at the time, I think it was called Twin Peaks. There was a TV show at the time called Twin Peaks. And there was a risque girl on there that could take and put a cherry in her mouth with the stem and with her tongue, not the stem of the cherry, without touching it. And doggone if this ghost couldn't do that. And she wanted me to tell his wife how to do it so that she could make her husband happy. And her name was Muffy. Oh, yeah.
Did we do that one? Did we do that one on a podcast?
I don't know if we did or not. I don't think I've ever put that in a book because I still see those people. We're friends. So
I'm trying to remember if that was a podcast or one that we just talked about in passing. Because I want to say, didn't the husband
maybe we did. Maybe we did
because like he would take his clients to like the gentleman's club.
Right. That's exactly the one it is. So we must have did it sometime. I don't know.
I mean, granted, we haven't done hundreds of episodes, but I mean, we've done a couple. So yeah, they're starting to run together a little bit, especially when I have to listen to them now apparently 3 and 4 times to make sure they're uploading correctly, because the editing software seems to be having issues. Um, we'll get it figured out. Um, let's see. Fonda says, I'm moving into an independent living apartment. Is there anything I can do to cleanse the place?
Yeah, definitely. Because it's an apartment, you have to at least smudge once every 12, 13, 14 days because the building is obviously going to have earthbound spirits in it, and you're going to want to keep them out of your space. And that would be the only way to do it. Unfortunately, you may have problems with the smoke alarms um, in that kind of a situation. But yeah, that's about all you can do unless we can figure out from a phone call or Zoom if the place is clear, then you could put the quinceads up and you wouldn't have to smudge. So you have choices.
Have you ever seen a religious ghost like a nun?
Oh yeah, and a priest and a cardinal. Oh yeah, and not a bird, the cardinal.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got blessed
Uh,
by the cardinal actually.
Very
Oh,
well.
bishop
I'm gonna
too.
pray
I
about
saw a
that.
bishop too actually.
Whenever, because the Cardinals are all in red, right? I
Correct.
always think, was it the Three Musketeers way back when Tim Curry was like a cardinal? So anytime that somebody mentions like a Catholic cardinal, or I just think of Tim Curry in all red, and he was kind of an evil type character, in that role, and I'm like, long live Tim Curry.
I don't even
Um,
know who that is, so I don't know.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Now that's when I was a teenager, so that really is a long time ago. Come on, Alyssa.
he was the devil type character in Legend, that all of us Gen Zers are like, the devil's kind of hot
Yeah,
because of
yeah.
that movie.
But the
Um,
actors all changed so often in that. They weren't always the
mhm.
same people. And I only saw the live performances. I never saw it on screen or
Oh, of
TV.
the movie.
No, never
Yeah.
saw it. Never saw it, so I
I
wouldn't know.
I watched the remake that Fox did a few years ago, and I knew it was gonna be hot trash, but I only watched it because Tim Curry was back in it, but he was the professor in the wheelchair because of his stroke. So he didn't get to, reprise his original role, but he was still in it, and that's the only reason why I watched it. And I'm like, oh, because it's Tim Curry, the rest of this is just god awful. Why did you do this to this movie? Um, but Tim Curry, he's my last celebrity. Betty White's gone. Robin Williams is gone. I'm like, Tim Curry is my last. Um, but let's see. Kathy says, I have discovered that my house is located where a Native American village once stood. We have found many artifacts and their fire pits. I would like to communicate with them. Is that a good idea? And how should I go about it? We wish to honor their home and them.
Hmm. Well, first of all, I'm going to say, in my opinion, the best way you can honor them is just leave them alone. Why do you need to talk to them? That doesn't make any sense to me. Um, I I don't know. I wouldn't have a clue how to tell you how to get hold of them. I mean, either you have that ability to do things like that or you don't. So I really don't know.
I think just taking care of the land is going to be, the best way, because they're earth keepers. They take care of the
Yeah,
earth. So take care of the land, cultivate it, is pretty much the
enjoy
best you
it,
can do.
praise it, right?
Hmm.
So no, no,
Oh, we're right out of 11, so we're going to do our last question, and then we'll go over like the Zoom and how to get a hold of Marianne. She Ready says, does schizophrenia have anything to do with earthbound spirits talking to some people?
yes, absolutely. Most people have somebody that have that problem, have something attached to them, and once that can be removed, they get better way faster. So absolutely. Any of your mental illnesses, any of your addictions, alcohol, drugs, Probably 90% have somebody that's earthbound attached to them.
Let's see. Oh, and good point, Brooks. Find out what tribe it belonged to and make sure you give them the artifacts. So most of the native tribes have like councils and places to, talk and be like, hey, we found these belong to your people, and they will take care of them and honor them properly. And quite honestly, most Native American tribes have lost most of their culture because they weren't allowed to practice it, do their ceremonies. It was illegal. Um, the US government took the kids from the families and tried to make them good little Christians and make them act white. So a lot of them don't even know what all of their ceremonies and histories and rituals are. So anything that you can give back to them would be a great help. There are actually a lot of North American tribes have gotten in contact with South American and Mexican tribes, native peoples, to try and like relearn certain things or similar and just trying to recreate their history. So that being said, if you need to order quince seeds, if you need the phone number to call Marianne and leave a message, go to Marianne's website. You can get the quince seeds, the smudge soaps, all the things. My mind just went blank with everything you carry because you have so much. The dream pillows to help remember your dreams. But a lot of people like the seeds. And they're in jewelries, they're in charms, there's zipper pulls, things like that. That's all on Marianne's website. If you would like to join a Zoom to find out if you have any earthbound spirits in your house, if you think that you might have a portal, if you think you might have negative energy, you can find out on the Zoom. The Zoom is limited to 20 people. Everybody gets to ask their 2 questions. Starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you are not in our time zone, please adjust accordingly. We also ask that you respect other people's time who also pay to be there. February is full, March is starting to fill, so don't wait too long. That link will always automatically load the next available time spots. So if you're waiting to the last minute on the date that you want, please don't call and email us saying that it's broke. Can you please make it work? Because you really want in, because it's full. The system works really, really well. Please make sure that you double check the typing and spelling of your email when you enter it in and before you hit submit. The system automatically logs it and sends you a confirmation. And in that confirmation is the link to join us. If you have mistyped your email, it's going to bounce back and say, this person email bounced. I don't know what's wrong in your email to fix that. So please double check your email before you hit submit. What am I forgetting, Marianne? Anything? What do we need to add?
No, I think you got it. This and the podcasts, and that's pretty much. I think we got it covered.
Yeah.
We haven't got any events planned as of yet. It's still February, and so I'm sure we'll be doing something. We'll have to think about doing something at the store for Easter, I guess.
Yeah,
Or
probably
around
springtime.
Easter.
Make sure
Yeah,
the weather's good for you to travel in because
right.
you're in the snow out there now.
I am, but we've been lucky.
You have. Enjoy the warmer weather today that we're getting in here in Ohio because what? Everyone's like, thank you for bringing back Tucson weather with you. And I'm like, you are welcome. And hopefully we can keep it as long as we can. But yeah, join us. If you're new, we do this every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell friends, tell family, anybody that might be interested in chatting with us, let them know that they can join us and grow. The podcasts go out every Wednesday morning as well on all platforms except iTunes. Most people find it easy with Spotify and Amazon because it's free to listen to on Amazon and Amazon Audible. Yeah. And join us on Zoom if you think you have a problem that needs addressed. It's a good time.
Fastest way to find out, because I'm running a month, 5 weeks behind calling people. So that's, if you need to know fast if there's something in your house, Zoom is the best way to do it.
And Marianne can see if there's a curse on a person over Zoom. Absolutely.
Or a portal. Yeah.
Mhm.
or we folk.
Right?
I don't think
I'm
we've
waiting
run
for
into
more
any.
Oreos.
Yeah, I haven't wait. We haven't run into any aliens on Zoom, have we? That I can think of. I don't think so.
This is where I have to admit that sometimes I'm only half listening because I'm doing something else and I run
Yeah,
over
yeah,
and
yeah.
pause
I
the
don't.
next
I think
room.
I would remember that. I don't remember that at all. I remember the few times that we've, picked up we folk, but I don't remember. I really don't remember aliens. So, which is
Yeah,
fine with me. So,
right. We can keep that off the list of things to do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, right. Okay, everybody have a really good week. Don't forget your law of abundance on Monday. I mean, don't
Mhm.
waste it. You do it. So, and we will
Yep.
see you next week.
All right. Bye, guys.